Hi, everyone, and welcome. We are excited to have you joining us today and to have the opportunity to introduce you to Slack Sales Elevate, your sales productivity game changer. We've brought the power of the world's #1 CRM into Slack to help teams accelerate their deals, increase productivity, and win more deals as a team. Before we dive in, there are a few webinar housekeeping items I'd like to bring to your attention. If you have any questions during today's session, please submit them to our Q&A pod. We'll have time at the end to answer them. We've added some helpful resources for you to download today, so check out the resources and widgets on your webinar console. To share ideas and communicate with other attendees, please use the attendee chat. A recording will be sent out in an email following the webinar. And finally, please note that all widgets and webinars are customizable, so they can be removed. They can be moved around and expanded if you'd like them to be. And of course, a quick forward-looking statement. Today, we're going to be discussing new product innovations. As Salesforce is a publicly traded company, please make sure that all purchasing decisions are based on what's available today. Great. So again, welcome. My name is Lauren Antone. I'm part of the Slack product marketing team. And today I'm joined by our panel of speakers, including our product lead, Julie Cockle, our customer speaker, Caitlin McBride, Senior Manager, Performance Product Management at Roku, and last but certainly not least, our guest speaker, Erwin Lazar, President and Principal Analyst at Metrigy. During today's session, you'll learn about our new solution, what it is and how it addresses many of the market trends and challenges sales organizations face today to help sales be more productive and efficient. You'll see a live product demo, including what's available today, as well as a peek into our product roadmap. And you'll also hear from our customer and early adopter, Roku, to discover how their sales organization is using tools like Slack and Sales Cloud and Slack Sales Elevate today and the value that they're seeing. So let's dive in. In speaking with customers like yourselves, we've heard that in today's economy, businesses are still looking to find ways to meet their revenue commitments without adding new headcount. For sales, this means finding new ways to make their teams more productive. But sales teams face more challenges today than ever before. Under pressure to drive revenue growth and meet ever-rising customer expectations, reps are overwhelmed by the administrative tasks and bogged down by siloed tools and data and the complex and inefficient processes that can really slow down deal cycles, ultimately putting deals at risks. In fact, our recent State of Sales report found that on average, reps spend 72% of their time on non-selling activities. Now that's valuable time they could be spent building customer relationships and growing your business. While the obstacles facing sales may seem daunting, they actually present an opportunity to get ahead of anticipated challenges, to reevaluate the way that you sell today, and to find ways to empower your sales teams and to win more. So to succeed in this environment, organizations really need to empower the entire sales team, from their reps to managers and operations, with the right tools, the automation and conversations they need to get more done with what they have and operationalize success as one selling machine to make the entire sales org more productive and ultimately focus more time on their customer. Now, if your sales organization is using Slack today, you're likely already experiencing firsthand how Slack brings automation and knowledge and connection together to help unlock your team's productivity potential. Across every task, process, and interaction, Slack helps sales teams work together more efficiently to accelerate deals to close by centralizing team selling, pulling the right people, conversations, and sales tools needed to close deals into one single searchable place and to really break down those silos to sell faster. It helps to scale efficient, effective processes across teams with powerful automation and AI-ready workflows that are based on our Salesforce best practices and are available out of the box. And finally, helping teams connect instantly with customers by pulling interactions out of inboxes and into secure Slack Connect channels, leading to faster sales cycles, quicker response times, stronger customer relationships, and increased customer satisfaction. And the results are pretty amazing. Slack customers report that their sales teams are seeing a 27% increase in their win rate. But what happens when you infuse those conversations with real-time CRM data and customer insights? Well, with Slack Sales Elevate, we are introducing an entirely new way for sales teams to sell together and to win in Slack. We're bringing the best of Sales Cloud, all of that great CRM data, to the place where conversations happen in Slack. And we're simplifying and automating that work to drive sales productivity. So now sales teams can sell together seamlessly and accelerate deals by tapping into rich customer data and business insights from Sales Cloud and the Salesforce Customer 360 directly from Slack, bringing that business context and depth to team conversations and deal collaborations. Teams can access all of the relevant information they need in one place, and updates that are made to that data in Slack are automatically pushed back to Sales Cloud in real time. So whether you're a rep, a manager, or a sales leader, you can stay on top of what's most important to your business in a single view with our new sales dashboard. You can easily track KPIs and receive timely alerts on notifications on your Salesforce accounts and opportunities right from Slack. And with better visibility at every level, sales leaders can keep a pulse on their team's performance and help identify opportunities for coaching and development to keep deals on track. And keeping your pipeline up to date has never been this easy. Reps can effortlessly update their deals from Slack in a single view, and those updates are pushed back to Salesforce in real time. Now, in fact, internal research across our own Slack sales team showed that reps updated their deals 4 times faster with Slack Sales Elevate. So not only does Slack Sales Elevate help reps move faster and eliminate the need to context switch and move between tools, but it also ensures your sales leaders can forecast with confidence with a real-time view of their business. And finally, in the future, we are helping teams close deals faster with AI-powered workflows. Next, I want to hand it over to Julie, who's going to share a quick demo so you can really see what this looks like in action. Julie, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Lauren. Hi, everyone. My name is Julie, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk to you all about Slack Sales Elevate. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so that I can walk you all through a live demo. All right, so I'm going to walk you through a demo of how this native Slack and Sales Cloud experience can really help maximize the ROI on your Sales Cloud. It will also help improve sales team performance. So we're going to start from the perspective of the rep. Let's call him Harry. So this is Harry's Slack. On the left, we see all of his channels. This is how he organizes his work. He has channels for his teams, for his accounts, and even for some of his customers leveraging Slack Connect. And here we can see that he's in a conversation in his team channel. And if we scroll up, we can see that his team has shared best practices and insights. And if we scroll back down, we can see that Lisa, his manager, has shared an upcoming product announcement, and she is challenging the team to start to build pipe. And so with that, Harry heads to Sales Home. This is his new personalized view powered by Salesforce data. He can update his opportunities right from Sales Home if he needs to. So here, he'll go ahead and change the dollar amount for Capricorn coffee. This is one of his important opportunities. There we go. You can see that he can increase it to $800,000, and that will instantly sync to Salesforce. He's also got an upcoming meeting with Omega. Omega is another important customer of his, and he wants to set up a meeting with the CIO. So he'll go ahead and add some next steps there. So he'll say that he's setting up this meeting with Omega, the CIO will be attending. Oh, apologies. I don't know what's going on with my demo here. I see that it's just spinning. Let me try refreshing real quick. Apologies, everyone. Okay, so while that's loading, I will just kind of keep going with the talk track. So here we go. So now he's added his next steps. He's saying that the meeting is coming up with the CIO. Again, that instantly syncs back to Salesforce. Harry loves this because he can update his opportunities with just a few clicks. And his manager loves this because it means that she doesn't have to hound him on a weekly basis to make sure that his pipeline is up to date. She can go into forecasting knowing that with confidence, the data that she's using is the latest. Internally, we've been using this and have had such positive feedback. And as Lauren mentioned earlier, we found that it's leading to a reduction in the amount of time that reps are spending updating their deals on a weekly basis, and they're updating them more often. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of that. Let's assume that Harry set up that meeting with Omega, his important customer, and now he wants to get some additional information about this new product. So he's going to head back to his sales channel, and he's going to open up his enablement canvas. This has all of the important information that he needs, whether it's product positioning, target accounts, discounting information, etc. And he can go ahead and request help if he needs to have someone attend that meeting, like a product person as well. So we can essentially go from consuming information to acting upon it, all from the same central place. So he'll go ahead and fill out some important information about this upcoming meeting, the account, the potential ACV, the objective of the meeting, etc. And then when he's done with that, he'll go ahead and click create, and that will instantly post to his team channel so that his entire team also has visibility, and they know that he submitted that request. Then in Thread, the pitch deck that he'll need for that meeting has also been automatically posted. So we just talked about the experience of the rep. Now let's talk a little bit more about the experience of the manager. I don't know why this demo keeps acting up on me. All right, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna skip the demo. I don't know why we're having all of these issues, but let's just go to the next slide. And I will talk about some of the functionality that will be available at GA. So here we go. Okay, so some of the functionality that will be available at GA. So we will have a sales home. That is that central place that is powered by Sales Cloud data that is personalized for each individual seller. It will include KPIs that are customizable so that reps, managers, et cetera, can all track their progress towards goals. It will include real-time sales alerts so that the account team, as well as the manager, always has real-time visibility into what's happening in the books of business that are important to them or in the deals that are important to them. It will include opportunity lists with the ability to make edits. I showed you that in the demo. And then it will also include mobile. So we know how important mobile is for sellers because their work can take them anywhere. And so all of this functionality will be available on mobile as well. Okay, and then looking towards the roadmap, we will continue to deliver impactful features in Q3 and Q4. So in Q3, some of the highlights include notifications for sales leaders. So this is a roll-up option so that a sales leader, a few levels above the first level manager, can also track the deals that roll up to them. It will include custom opportunity object support, and so that you can essentially map any custom object that is meant to represent your opportunity object, and that will power all of Sales Elevate. It will also include notifications on all objects. So you can essentially get notifications on leads or accounts or other objects outside of the opportunity object. And then it will also include admin top-down created notifications. And so our experience at GA allows all end users to configure notifications, but admins will also be able to configure them top-down in Q3. And then looking towards Q4, here's what we have planned. So log a meeting, this is one of our top requested features. And this is an automated workflow to make getting meeting notes and call notes into CRM effortless. Multi-org support is also on here. This is important for some of our larger enterprise customers and will essentially allow Elevate users to interact with multiple Salesforce orgs all in one place in Slack. It will include record map channels. So this at its core is the ability to map a channel to a Salesforce record, but then that unlocks all kinds of interesting things. Like you can embed data directly into the channel. You can automatically add the account team members that are stored in Salesforce to the channel. You can also automatically turn on notifications. And then also in Q4, we will roll out in-product data validation support. So some customers use conditional requirements or data validation rules. We respect those, so a user can't bypass them today, but we want to unlock additional flexibility for our customers so that they can fulfill those requirements directly from Elevate and don't need to go to Sales Cloud to do that. All right, and then looking towards next year, we've got some exciting stuff planned there as well. So sales templates will unite and automate work by instantly pulling data from Salesforce into a canvas. We will also roll out AI to power workflows to reduce that administrative burden and close deals faster. We will roll out the ability to essentially have a conversation, the same conversation in the Slack interface or in the Sales Cloud interface. And then last, deal support requests and approvals. These come up frequently on customer calls because they are often very time consuming today, and we want to make approvals and deal support requests transparent and fast so that sellers can close deals faster. Okay, so that was all of the roadmap. Next, we wanted to bring on Caitlin. Caitlin is a, there we go, a senior manager on the Roku team. Caitlin and I have worked together as she has led their product initiative, piloting our Elevate product. And so, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, we really appreciate it. Let's start with the basics. Can you tell us a little bit about Roku, your role there, and what you do at Roku, and some of the major initiatives that you're focused on?
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I am the Salesforce product lead at Roku. So I manage the Salesforce Sales Cloud. And for those who don't know about Roku, we are a streaming device, so similar to Fire Stick or Apple TV. We also we also sell smart TVs and smart appliances. But where my focus is on the ad sales side. So we offer the Roku channel, which is a free TV application. And there's advertising on that channel. And on the Salesforce side, that's what we're supporting within the tool. Our focus as a sales team right now within Salesforce is to get the sellers onboarded to the tool using Salesforce as a CRM. They're really not using the tool to its best advantage. And that's been a huge initiative for us this year.
Yeah, that makes sense. Awesome. And so I understand, from our conversations that Roku has a unique sales organization. And so can you tell us a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so our teams are split up into 3 different roles under the manager. So there is the traditional AE, account executive. There's a client services manager that helps build out the media plan for the advertising, and then an account manager that helps to traffic the ads. And then within our sales organization, we are divided amongst verticals. So like media and entertainment, or LCS, which stands for large client services, or growth, which are smaller businesses. And each of those areas really work differently.
Got it. Thank you. Now, I know it might not be super clear to everyone on the webinar, so would you mind quickly explaining what ad sales entails and who is involved in selling the ads and why are metrics and visibility so important?
Yeah. So there's a variety of selling options across Roku. There's the traditional video ads that get sold on the actual channel, so what everybody hates, but as you're watching TV and watching advertising, those are the traditional video ads, which are probably the largest majority of our sales. But we also have some cool offerings, being that we are a platform as well. So like I have on my screensaver here, a cool placement we did recently was with the Barbie movie to put them into Roku City, which is our little screensaver, and create the Barbie Dream House, which was a really fun addition to our sales offerings. So I think to the second question, along metrics and visibility, I think what's really important is the collaboration that Slack offers. Since we are working across a larger team on our sales organization, people are doing different things at different times and interacting with the client at different times. So one thing we're really excited about is Slack Connect, where we can see all those type of interactions across the client and across the different selling teams so that everybody's informed of kind of every single action that's happening. And additionally, since the client services managers today are really the ones managing the pipeline, as they make updates in the system, sellers that are more familiar with Slack being able to see those changes as they come through is going to be super helpful for us as an organization to give that visibility and like reference those metrics for them who aren't as close to the Salesforce tool itself.
Yeah, got it. And you've talked about this a little bit already, but let's talk a little bit more about Elevate. What were the deciding factors in wanting you to try out this technology?
I think you guys came to us at a really great time where our strategy was already, how do we get the sales team more involved in their pipeline, more involved in Salesforce as a CRM, like managing their client relationships, tracking activities, tracking conversations. And the most challenging part with teams, as I've worked in Salesforce over time, is adoption and change management. So our sellers aren't used to going into Salesforce, but they work in Slack every day internally with their teams. So this presented a super interesting opportunity for us to jump in early and introduce to the sales team early a different option that didn't have them going into a new system, or not necessarily new, but like not as familiar, and provide the information for them with a tool that they do feel comfortable with. So it was a really exciting opportunity, and we're happy to join early on.
Yes, we were happy to have you. So what are you looking to achieve? What are some of the biggest areas of improvement that you think Slack Sales Elevate will bring to your ad sales team?
I mentioned collaboration. Obviously, that's like a huge component of this, where working with a larger sales team, we need to make sure that everybody's up to date. I think that the idea that it's customizable per user is super great for the way that our sales team operates. So different metrics are going to be different, or are going to be important for different teams depending on your vertical. Like the growth team is going to operate very differently than the large customer team that is used to, like, they have committed spend, versus the growth team is looking at every single opportunity, new clients coming through. So that was super exciting that we could make it unique to each team, because I think that is something we need as an organization. It wouldn't make sense to just make it blanket across the whole group. And then I'm really excited for managers as well. I mean, I've been talking a lot about AEs and them not in the system, but managers getting visibility into their team's pipeline and these updates as well. This will keep them informed, allow them to see when they need to jump in and help out their sellers. So just lots of opportunities to help close these deals quicker, and that's always great.
Absolutely. And from what you've seen so far, what is the most exciting thing for you about this new product?
I think just really the ease of use. Salesforce is a very robust tool and has a lot of configuration options, but it's also very complex. And the way that you guys have positioned this within Slack makes it really easy to understand and to use for the end users. And keeping it super simple like this for the teams that just need this type of data at their fingertips is really exciting. And then, again, I think this will be a way for us to close the sales cycle quicker and have everybody kind of on board with changes within the pipeline over time. Just a lot of exciting features.
Great. Yeah, ease of use was definitely a focus for us. I mean, I think Slack in general has like a really strong user experience. And so as we were thinking about bringing a native embedded experience into Slack, making sure that it was super user-friendly and intuitive was definitely a focus for our team. All right, I just have one last question for you. What's next in your journey of innovating and evolving with Slack and Elevate?
Yeah, so we're actively meeting with AEs and managers to get feedback. And, as I've mentioned, depending on vertical, what they want to see, just really getting that robust list of feedback from all of these teams. And then hoping that within these conversations, we get some early champions of the tool so that they can help share to the rest of the organization all the great features and everything that helps them in their day-to-day using this tool. So that's where we're at right now, and hoping to get excitement around the organization for this.
Awesome. All right. Well, Caitlin, thank you so much for joining. It was really nice talking to you today. And I'm sure we'll continue our conversations as a pilot customer of Elevate. And with that, I will pass it off to Lauren.
Thanks, Julie. And again, yes, Caitlin, thank you so much for coming on to share Roku's story. We're really excited to have you participating in our pilot, and we're really looking forward to hearing about many of those results, how your team's able to increase that cross-functional collaboration and increase their visibility, take greater ownership over their data and opportunities. Next, I'd like to welcome Erwin Lazar, Principal Analyst at Metrigy. Erwin, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk about Slack Sales Elevate and what we're seeing overall in the team collaboration space.
We're excited to have you. So Erwin, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about Metrigy?
Sure. So I'm an analyst covering the communications and collaboration market. I spend most of my time going out to end user organizations and gathering data about what they're doing and why, and what successes they're having with the different applications that they're using, what's driving their purchasing implementations, what are some of the challenges that they're facing. Metrigy is closing in on our third birthday. We focus on customer engagement and employee experience and communication and collaboration applications based in the Washington, D.C. area.
Fantastic. Well, can you tell us a little bit about how team collaboration is evolving today? What is it that you're seeing in the market?
Yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity to go after Caitlin and your presentation earlier, because I think I reinforce a lot of what you talked about. We have seen an overall evolution of team collaboration applications like Slack, to where companies initially viewed those as a messaging tool, something that was more effective than email for taking conversations out of email, allowing threading, allowing people to jump in and catch up on a conversation they might have missed, having context around conversations. And now they're becoming this hub for work. So what we have seen is that the majority of organizations, in a study that we published earlier this year, about 440 companies, North America, Western Europe, Southeast Asia, and Australia, said that they viewed team collaboration as a work hub, meaning they were looking for opportunities to do what you're delivering with Slack Sales Elevate and bring information, data into their team collaboration workspace so that people don't have to leave it. so that they can avoid the toggle tax of having to switch back and forth to manage their data, to manage their tasks, to manage their interactions, and that they can collaborate around activity that's happening in external applications. So when we looked at the companies who had the highest ROI for their team collaboration spend, it was roughly about 80 of our 440 companies that qualified for our success group, meaning they had above average ROI for their use of team applications. About 66% had that view that it was the work hub, that it wasn't just a messaging application, but we want people to kind of live and work within this space.
Yeah, that's exciting research to hear. And, it's very similar to what we hear when we talk to customers as well. Julie touched on this earlier, but I think a big part of the having to context switch and move between applications is part of the inspiration for why we were looking to really build this native solution and to, again, connect Sales Cloud, connect Slack. So we do create that hub that's really infused with data.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the real world benefits that companies achieve from CRM and Slack integration?
Yeah, so there are a number of factors. I mean, I think we talked about the toggle tax initially as kind of being that big one. If I'm thinking about how do I work within a day, I've got an update that came in on a sales opportunity, or I want to provide an update that I don't have to quickly, keep moving back and forth between applications or paste a link within that team space that says, hey, I made an update, click here, to go in and dig into it. So you're simplifying just the day-to-day user experience. You talked about, I think it was 27% higher close rates for companies that were taking advantage of it. We've also seen a number of other advantages for moving internal communication collaboration, and now even often customer-facing communication and collaboration into team spaces. So for companies that are implementing team collaboration as their primary means of communicating, about 33% reduction in email. We see north of 30% of companies that are essentially mandating that team spaces where we communicate, that I don't want you to send emails to me or internally to one another, because it's just a less efficient way to communicate or collaborate. All the things we talked about earlier. It's easy to bring people in. It's easy to see history. It's easy to bring now external data feeds and whether it's through the Salesforce CRM or task or project management, workflow management, marketing automation, and so on. All of that activity being brought into a workspace, again, makes the team able to respond to opportunities as they arise. We've also seen a pretty strong reduction in the number of meetings that people have. So about 30% reduction in meetings, because maybe I don't need a daily stand-up or a weekly catch-up to go through the sales opportunities and leads and kind of figure out who's doing what, but rather I can provide real-time updates within the Slack channel. Everybody knows what's happening. Everybody's on the same page. They can ask questions and inquire and so on, without me having to say, okay, we've got that 2:00 meeting now. Let's everyone hop on, whether it's Slack huddles or another meeting app, to go through the same kind of things that I might be able to do more effectively within the channel. Then I can also have, as warranted or needed, I can pop in and do a quick huddle. So I've got a question for you about an opportunity. Maybe we've chatted a couple of times, but we're still not on the same page. Let's just quickly jump into a meeting. We don't need to wait for formal meetings. So going from meetings that are just scheduled because we feel like we have to have them, to meetings that only happen for a specific purpose and only have the people that need to be involved in that decision, often are a lot shorter. Again, taking that opportunity to respond to a real-time event. So an activity comes in, someone sends us a proposal, someone sends us an RFP. We add that activity, that opportunity, we jump in, we start collaborating around it, we figure out what we need to do to respond. And all of that can happen, again, within that Slack workspace without having to hop into a call or send emails or all the older ways that people have communicated around opportunities. And then I think the last one is probably the biggest. There have been a number of scenarios or a number of examples within the United States and elsewhere where companies, absent this kind of capability that you're providing to them, often employees will jump into consumer services, or they'll work in tools that are outside of enterprise control, outside of enterprise communication and compliance. I think it was on Monday that was about $500 million in fines levied here in the U.S. against a number of banks because their employees were communicating in WhatsApp and Signal, and again, outside of corporate control and compliance. So bringing people into this workspace, being able to archive, to retain, to support e-discovery, all the things that you need to be able to do, especially in a regulated industry, has some real value. And I mean, not just monetary value, but company reputation value, protection of customer and company data value. So I think that's really one of the big areas that we see the companies look at and say, if I can get people working in this workspace, especially around something sensitive like sales opportunities, customer opportunities, so on, that I want to maintain that common place where people know where they can go, and that I've implemented in such a way that I can support compliance requirements.
Yeah, and Erwin, I think your examples are spot on there. Internally, obviously, we are using Slack Sales Elevate today, as well as Slack and Sales Cloud. And I think just based on the conversations that we have with our own sales teams, that's exactly right. Like, they are in channel, having real-time conversations in the context of their deals. They're able to minimize their meetings by having quick huddles. And we've really seen a boost in productivity. So we're really excited about it. We really appreciate you coming on and sharing your expert opinion today. Before we wrap up, I did want to take a second. Oh, sorry to cut you off, Erwin.
Just a thank you.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you so much. Before we wrap up, so if you'd like to learn more about Slack Sales Elevate, you can find us on salesforce.com, or you can reach out to your sales reps directly. Next, we do want to open it up for Q&A and invite all of our panelists to come back. So if you have any questions that weren't addressed throughout today's webinar, please drop them in the chat now, and we'll go through and answer. So to kick us off, we have our very first question. Julie, can you talk to us a little bit about how do you think about work that belongs in Salesforce versus Slack?
Yeah, absolutely. So, our goal is to unlock the power of customer data and insights for the sales line of business. And, when we thought about how we would go about doing that, work kind of broadly falls into two buckets: thin work and thick work. Thick work is like deep, focused time, like, managing a CMS, or for me, like building out a product roadmap. Thin work is something like pretty quick, like logging a meeting. And Salesforce will always be the critical tool for sellers where that thick work happens. But thin work can be brought into the place where sellers are having their conversations in Slack. And as a result of doing that, there are serious productivity gains. And now on top of that, Slack is even better for your sales team because it's powered by Salesforce data. And so we really looked to think about what is that thin work, and then how do we bring that into Slack as the unified engagement layer where you can get that thin work done.
Fantastic. Another question we had from the audience is, we use the Sales Cloud for Slack app to integrate with Salesforce today. How is Slack Sales Elevate different? Or is this simply an update to the existing app?
Got it. So it's different, just to answer that right away. The Sales Cloud for Slack app delivers basic functionality for existing Sales Cloud and Slack customers, and it's a free integration. Slack Sales Elevate is not an app. It is a native solution built directly into Slack. And it's specifically for a sales team with multiple deep integration points with Sales Cloud. It's extremely intuitive. I know Caitlin kind of mentioned this, but it's really easy to use. And so we believe that the full sales team will really maximize their productivity because they'll be able to take advantage of all of these features because they're so easy to discover and they're embedded directly into Slack.
Fantastic. We have a customer who's from the CMT industry. They are wondering if there are any restrictions on how they can use Slack Sales Elevate.
Sure. So Elevate is designed around the standard Sales Cloud objects. Industry clouds can absolutely leverage Elevate, provided that they use those standard objects. So the standard opportunity, account, and user object, and provided that they use what we call the big four fields, but that's the amount, close, date, stage, and next steps fields. We know that not everyone will meet that criteria, and we want everyone to be able to benefit from Elevate. And so in Q3, we are adding custom opportunity object support. And then we are also going to make those big four fields optional. So in Q3, we'll be basically opening it up to more users.
Fantastic. Now, I know we had a little bit of trouble with the demo today, and I understand we had some computers overheating, so we weren't able to really show the full experience. But we do have a question around notifications that I thought that you could tackle pretty quickly. The question from the audience is, can each Slack user create and manage their own notifications from Salesforce to Slack?
Yes. So first, apologies, everyone. My computer was like, my fan was overheating. I don't know what was happening. But sorry, I couldn't walk you all through the demo. To answer your question on notifications. So yes, at GA, which was last week, every end user can configure their own notifications. They're super easy to configure. You can basically follow opportunities where you are on the account or where you own them, or managers can follow opportunities where their direct report is on the account or owns an opportunity. So there's all different ways that you can configure these notification settings. And so that is all available. And then in Q3, we are also building out the ability for sales ops to be able to configure notifications top down, so that they can essentially be configured both top down as well as end user up.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to add, though, for the audience on the call today, we do have a demo video that is coming in about a week and a half, so that will be going out to all of you. And in addition, if you would like to see a demo, again, reach out to your sales rep, and they will be happy to walk you through the demo so you can see what this product looks like live. We do have another question around capability. So Julie, we're just going to keep coming to you. Where are KPIs housed? Is that in Sales Cloud or Slack? And are they tied to Salesforce reports and data?
Yes. Okay. So they are tied to Salesforce reports and data. The way you configure those is essentially by selecting a report that you already have. And then we don't store any of the core report data on the Slack side. We just store the report link because we need to know, what report to pull them from. So all of that is still stored on the Sales Cloud side.
Okay, great. And then going back to a question on pricing earlier, can you talk a little bit about what additional SKUs are needed if we have Slack and Sales Cloud Unlimited? Pricing.
Yes. So so this is an add-on. So there is a cost associated with using Elevate. And then if you are on any of the Slack plans that are Business Plus, Enterprise Select, or Enterprise Grid, or if you are on any of the Sales Cloud plans that are Professional with API access, Enterprise, or Unlimited, then you can use this solution.
Okay, I am going to throw a curveball question at you, Julie. On pricing, there are active salespeople that get the benefit, but then there are also many other people who support within Slack. How much can support people contribute to Sales Elevate, for example, approval, Slack messaging, without having to carry the cost of a salesperson?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, so the cost of Elevate will essentially get you that sales home experience that I showed you in the beginning of the demo. So it'll get you those KPIs that are customizable. It'll get you those notifications that can be sent either to sales home or to a channel. And it will also give you that opportunity list view that you can both view and edit. But if you're a support person, so say you're like legal or some other, like a product person that might need to jump into a channel in order to work with a sales team, you can still benefit from this solution through notifications, because notifications can be set up to fire either to sales home or to a channel. And if those notifications fire to a channel, then they would be visible to you even if you're not a paid provision user of Elevate. And then looking forward towards some of those roadmap items like deal support requests or approvals, again, the idea would be that you if you're one of those kind of support people like legal, you don't need to pay for an Elevate license in order to participate in part of that approval process or that deal support request process. So that would be available to you without the additional charge.
Wonderful. A question coming in from the audience: are there trailheads on features and how to get set up and manage Sales Elevate?
That is a great question on trailheads, Lauren. I might send
Pass
that back to you. But there are, yes, but there are. Why don't I first take the what's available to set up, and then I can pass it back to you on the trailhead piece. So yes, there is lots of documentation for admins on how to get set up. And then also end users, there's lots of documentation internally, like in our help articles on how to use the feature. So that's all available. And then Lauren, in terms of the trailhead, I'll pass it back to you.
Yeah, we don't have a trailhead set up yet, but it is coming soon. I'm glad that you covered the other resources that are available. I think most of these can be found currently through your Slack or on salesforce.com. So definitely check those out if you are interested. And then I think a final question came through around getting access to a longer recorded version of the demo. We definitely will follow up with this group here. And we do have demo resources available. So a few options are, again, reach out to your sales reps, contact sales and ask for a demo. They can answer any questions and walk you through it. We also will have a short video available next week. And then we do have a recorded demo so we can figure out what the process is to actually get that sent out. Final question that just came through is actually around licenses. So are these Elevate licenses included in orgs that have unlimited edition?
They are available to orgs that have the unlimited edition, but it wouldn't be included. So there would be an additional cost on top of that.
Yep. So to recap, Julie, the plans that are required for Slack Sales Elevate are,
let me look at my list. Okay, on the Slack side, Business Plus, Enterprise Select, Enterprise Grid. On the Sales Cloud side, Professional with API access, Enterprise, or Unlimited.
Fantastic. Okay, well, if your question was not answered, please feel free to follow up with us after today's webinar. I just want to take a second to say thank you all so much for joining us. We were very excited to have you. We're excited to talk to you more about Slack Sales Elevate over the coming weeks. Thanks again, and we hope to see you next time.